Hey, so today we're going to do some reverse tie-dye. Some of them we're going to just leave whatever the bleach design shows up, and other ones we're going to take back and throw some color in it. You typically want to use 100% cotton. Different colors have different effects. We usually use black, and if it's a good 100% cotton, you usually get an orange underneath of that. If there's any kind of polyester in your shirts, they usually come up gray, which you can't really go back and re-dye because the dye won't stick to the polyester. But we got some Champion shirts we're going to be putting in here, some Gildan shirts, some John Loren little kid shirts. We're actually going to throw in a blue, another blue little kids pants. 100% cotton, different sizes. We'll do a little batch for you, show you how we do them. We're actually going to take this tie-dye shirt, and we're going to actually do some reverse bleach tie on that. I guess you call it bleach tie-dyeing. So the first thing we want to do is actually, we don't have to strip them down for the coating, but we do want to get them wet so they're a little bit easier to fold. I mean, you can fold them dry if you want, but over here we prefer to do it wet. So we'll fill up our washer, and we'll just put it on a regular rinse cycle. Let it fill up, spin out, it'll be wet, and then we'll go to the folding process. So here we have our outline of our smiley face, happy face. We use chalk with that. Now we're going to fold it up and tie it up. So follow along. Usually we'll do the mouth first, and then the eye. Sometimes we'll put a pupil in it, sometimes we won't, and then we'll do the outer side. And if we decide to do something on the back is right here because we split the shirt in half. This is the front side. And I'm just going to tie it up, doing the mouth, the eyes, and then the outer border. So how I usually do the eye is, as you seen before, it was a fully round eye. I cut it in half. Here's one side and here's the other. And then I'm just going to come up and fold it up along here and tie it off. That's how we do the eye. You just cut it right in half, fold it in half, then fold it, tie it off. As you see here, I tied the outer edge of the eye, the outer ring of the eye. Here's the pupil I'm going to tie off right here. So here, when I made the pupil, I tied it off. I pulled it as tight as I can until I was like blue in the face and it almost broke. I wrapped it 5 times, and I wrapped it 5 times more and pulled it as tight as I can because we want to try to keep in here black. So when we put the bleach out here, this will be orangish red, and we want to keep this part black. And we'll move on to the outer ring of the face. There you have it. The eyes, the mouth. You could even put a nose if you wanted to. But our customer just wanted a smiley face, so we didn't put nothing on the back. We actually tied this up with a few rubber bands. We're going to put some plastic over this so we don't get no bleach by accident. Screw up the shirt, and we're just going to apply it to the smiley face. This one here actually has it transferred, so we tied it off. Then we put a plastic bag over it, sealed it up with a rubber band, and then the other end we scrunched it. We're going to hit this part here with the bleach, deactivate it, hit it with some soda ash, probably a hot water irrigation technique, hit it with some green. We'll check it out at the end of the video. Here I took one of the Champion shirts. Here's the Champion label right here. Here's the tag under the collar. So you know this is actually the top part. So if you wanted to do something on the top and not the bottom, you know what's the top and the bottom. We actually marked it out with our chalk. We're going to fill this slice up here with our bleach, and this slice. There's the back side. We marked it. So we get a double swirl. Get that nice fine spiral in there. Nice and tight. So that means you're going to have to let the bleach seep in a little bit more, a couple more minutes, but keep an eye on it. You don't want to burn up the cotton. Champion shirt. Double spiral. Right here we got a washer filling up with hot wash. We're going to do the first washing hot and then cold. Here's our pieces that we're going to do. We fold it up. Ready to go. Over here we got a bucket. This is very important. We want to deactivate the bleach. So we actually use hydrogen peroxide. You can get from any store around, drugstore, Walmart, you know the deal, Amazon. This right here is 1 quart hydrogen peroxide. So you want to add the hydrogen peroxide to 9 parts. So it's 1 part hydrogen peroxide, 9 parts water. So if you equal that out, it's a little bit more than 2 gallons. But we like to go a little bit strong on it. So we'll use 2 gallons, and we actually use hot water. There's a debate about that, whether you should use cold water or hot water. We use hot water. That's what we prefer. So we'll mix this up. So when we bleach it, our item, our shirt, we'll put it in to deactivate it for 10 minutes, and then we'll put it in the wash. So here our bleach is set up. We use a 20-80 ratio, which is 20% water, 80% bleach. We've got this in a squirt bottle. We got our shirt laid down here. We're going to bleach up the areas we want to bleach up. Let it sit for a few minutes. Keep an eye on it. We don't want it to start eating up the cotton. If it's too concentrated of your mixture, it'll eat right through your shirt. Once we're ready, then we'll throw it back into our bath of hydrogen peroxide and water to deactivate it, and we'll show you what deactivation looks like. Here's the one here where we actually had the transfer. We wrapped the plastic around there. We're going to put the bleach down in here. What we actually do is set it up on the rim here so the transfer is actually sticking up. Try to keep it away from the bleach. The bleach wants to run up against it. And then to ruin the transfer, we're just going to flip it. See how I got that going up? And then it comes down and flat. Just pour your little bleach on there. You keep an eye on there. This one here, we're actually going to go back and add some color to it. Right here, you can see it's starting to change. Just want to keep an eye, especially that little nub where the eye is. It's going to be the rough part. You can see right in here where there's some black. I'm going to just hit it just a little bit more with the bleach, and we'll deactivate it. So here you go. As you see, I got my plastic gloves on. I just happened to touch the bleach, so I probably want to change my gloves so I don't get it on anything else. But here we got the transfer wrapped up in plastic. We got our bleach down here. I'm going to set it in a hydrogen peroxide hot bath to deactivate it. See the deactivation? The hydrogen peroxide isn't really going to bother the transfer of the picture on the shirt. So I'll just let it sit in there. Let it soak down. At least 10 minutes. What we like to do, if we get some bleach on our gloves or whatever, our hands, we don't want to spot up any of our other shirts. Just put your hand right in here, the hydrogen peroxide. It's a little bit warm, but it's killing the bleach off my hands, deactivating it, so I can touch other things. But I'll put on another pair of gloves. So here you go. I got it in the hydrogen peroxide solution. Gonna let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll put it in the hot wash with some nice laundry detergent, fresh and clean. When we do the wash out for the reverse tie-dye, we use the bleach. We use this, the Armor Hammer Odor Busters. Smells nice and fresh. You don't takes away any smell of any kind of hydrogen peroxide or bleach. And Also cleans pretty good too. But this is what we use while we wash out our reverse tie-dye. So this is what our hydrogen peroxide solution looks like when we're done with it. It's actually a little bit light today. We usually do double the amount of shirts when we make them, but we only did 12 pieces. This is what it looks like. I wouldn't use it too much longer. 12 pieces, 15, depending on the size of the pieces. If you see it not deactivate, making them bubbles, I would definitely make another batch.